Jared Chatterton, our club president, is here today. So we're happy to have him with us.
Terry.
And
my wife Terry's out there.
Terry somewhere.
She's out there. She's
Okay.
pretty short. She's below.
I see a hand.
I'm just a little short.
All right. I would like to introduce a couple people to you.
Phil Bostrom.
Phil Bostrom will be leading the ride. Phil is a member of 7 ATV clubs, the Panuchi Trail Committee. He has a real knowledge of this area. He lives here, and he also is a student of the history of the area. So he's going to be able to give us a lot of good information, and that makes it fun. Chris Moore is the president of the club here, and he has volunteered to do our tail gunning. They prefer to have somebody from their club to tail gun because the tail gunner knows the way back. So, yeah, we hope.
Hey Bear, how you doing?
He's excited to go.
All right. Shot of your machine with the tire up in the air. Tire up in the air. Goes down in the ditch. Tall guys
This
in
is
the
all
back.
historic wood, so please do not destroy any of it. So actually, we are in an area that's called Negro Mag's Wash Prospect. A month ago, that became NM Wash Prospect, so we're sanitizing the area here. But the Lee family was pretty industrious. I mean, to come to Utah as a black family in that time. And the reason this works out here is, some of you have noticed the steam venting. Until 1966, the water actually flowed. They had 3 pools here, hot, medium, and cool down. The Frisco mines, some of you have been out to the cemetery, I think when you're here, had no water out there in existence. So Mag had a building here that had hot and cold running showers. So you can imagine after that. Now Mag had the girls here. She used to hook up a wagon, go over to the mines, had a place over there. I think it's where the term Western Hold the Wagons come from. You never know where these terms come from. You know, so the ball throws the balls off a brass monkey. That's a sailing term, but I was told at a dinner, don't talk like that, young man. So Mag had a big business going here. You can see some of the footings of where they had the girls had their dorms, we'll call them. And if you look at the pool, it's pretty sophisticated. But we spoke of that Beaver provided the power for the Frisco mines, and Frisco mines provided the power and the men for Mags. Go inside. I've left 3 pictures in there that show what it was like at its prime. Of course, you can see we had the fire here. It's washed down and washed out the back wall.
One thing to be aware of, everybody, make sure you check your straps before we go. There's a legend here about Shifty, a ghost that takes straps off and loosens. So check your straps. Apparently, yeah. That's a gun for it.
Lay down his arms. Gonna beat it into a plowshare, but they're gonna have the power.
Filled in, but when all the fire burned all the trees, the water washed it out here.
No.
That's
Yeah.
a nice place.
Like a little bit more modern up to date when you see that chair.
I was expecting like 1800s.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Stove.
Boy, they had a job bringing that up.
Frisco was gold out there. We can't see Frisco real good today.
No.
But Frisco was an interesting mine. It had no water.
Oh.
So you can imagine coming to Mag's to get a hot shower.
Oh, wow.
And plus they had a stamp mill out there. And if you've ever heard of stamp mill, what it must have been like in that town, I don't know how anybody had any hearing unless you went down in the mine. And when you go out to the mine, the headworks, the beams were like that. Huge, tall, and they were cut somewhere up in the hill and dragged over there. How they did that in those days, the engineering to move that stuff. And
place to park anywhere up there within 35 minutes.
Honey?
Sounds good. Come on down. Okay.
More. Ooh, so
There's still some in here.
a little powdery.
If I find something, I'll holler.
Okay.
But he had grown up in Southern California and spoke Spanish, and I think from seeing the Catholic religion, he saw the Mormon religion, realized what they had, and said, leave them alone. So he was a real friend to the Mormons when they settled Cove Fort.
Who was that?
Chief Kanash,
Chief Kanash, okay.
yeah. And the town is named after him, Kanash. And actually, they have a grant. They're going out to try and find one of his wives. They think they know where she's buried. But like I say, I think Mary was her name, was the favorite one that he built a house for. The other all just had tents and wickiups. But we're riding up there next week to the lava tubes. You can go out there, go underground, and go as far as here back to where the vehicles are, then come back up. And there's the gentleman that's going to lead us, Bart Whatcutt, talks about he grew up there as a youth. They would take eggs with them and put them in the hot pots and have hard-boiled eggs in for lunch. There's also a story of somebody that had all his gold on his back on a rainy night, stuck it in a cave and put a slash on the deal, and everybody's looking for it. But there's a hill out there called Sugarloaf that a guy had to be an early Ponzi scheme, because his idea was there's a big cement thing in a hole, and he had two tracks that had sails on it. So it came into the wind, they opened, and the backside they closed, and the next one opened. You know, he sold his stock out 150 times and never produced any electricity. Now it's a place the Boy Scouts go out and we ride up there, and on the backside of that there's two big golden eagle nests.
Yeah.
And there's a place called Shower Curtains where it just looks
Lace
like a
curtain?
lace curtain, yeah. Out there. And then a few years ago I rode out there in Hell's Kitchen. There were petroglyphs there, but Bart hasn't been able to find them. And this year he said, I know where they are now.
Oh.
But he talks about there's a place out there that's like the water collected, and he said when he was a youth, and his mom talks about they bring bands out there and play and they dance out there and stuff. But it's just neat when you have somebody that's local that grew up there and all the stories and stuff. So I don't know the name of the private property, but the fishermen, it's all owned by that Essex. They're doing